What's up, you guys?
And welcome back to another episode of Your Favorite Aunties Podcast. That was a good start.
That was.
I think that was kind of cute.
We were in sync.
Period.
No, Justin.
Girl.
We not finna do this.
Okay. We ain't even started.
I know it. It got started good.
Okay. You know what?
That's how this finna go.
Let's establish a boundary real quick.
Great segue, friend.
Yeah, I did good, right?
You did.
Okay. So today, guys, we are going to be talking about boundaries.
Guard your heart.
Baby, guard your heart.
What's a guard do?
Huh?
If you ain't watched that episode, go back.
Baby, please, because that episode...
You got to get on your Zoom.
Every morning at 10, you got to get on your Zoom.
You got to get on your Zoom.
Listen. Okay, so boundaries.
Yeah.
When you think about a boundary, what does that mean to you?
To set a boundary means to put up some kind of blockade. So that those who are not supposed to enter are unable to.
All right.
What about you?
So for me, a boundary is me setting up a standard.
Ooh, come on, standard.
I raise up a standard. You know?
When the enemy come in like a flood.
When you come in, I say, watch out now. You got to get on out the way. Unless you get an uppercut. If that would have connected, would have took you back.
Girl, get out.
No, but for me, a boundary is literally just setting up a standard to say, hold on, this is how I will be treated. This is how this is going to go. Mm-hmm. It creates order. Boundaries create order.
That's good. Boundaries create order.
And in the midst of order, you can work.
That's
perfection.
Right. That's
and harmony and wholeness.
That's right, because he's not a God of confusion. That's
Come on,
good.
Somebody. Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
That was good, huh? Okay.
So have you in life been good at setting boundaries?
In life? Yeah. It has been a work in progress.
Okay.
It has absolutely been a work in progress. Mm-hmm. But I believe that at this particular point in my life, I am really learning how to create boundaries and stick to them in some areas.
Because it's one thing to set it.
Huh?
It's another thing to stick to. That's good.
This part of my life is definitely showing me. Mm-hmm.
You got to stick to it, friend.
Well.
Too late.
Maybe. Anyway, let's not. Okay, so boundaries.
Yes.
Let's talk about some boundaries that we've set up in our dating. I know that whenever we talk about me or whenever you make reference to me in my dating, you tell me that I am good at setting boundaries. Like, well, some. But what does it look like when you see me setting boundaries in relationships?
I think that for me, it looks like you being very vocal about what you want and what you do not want.
Yeah.
Because before you can even set a boundary, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
What do I want and what do I not want? Because we've had people ask us about how to set boundaries before, but it's like you have to have a defined location in order to have a boundary.
Come
right?
on. No, if
you put a fence out in the open field, the fence ain't blocking nothing.
Come on.
It's just open.
Right.
So you have to have already defined some kind of location. And so when we talk about setting boundaries, it could be your heart.
Right.
It could be your life.
Right.
Your mind. Anything that has a definition to it. Mm-hmm. Now I can set the necessary blockades around it so that it's protected.
Right.
So that means from hurt, from harm, from danger, right? It's my job to put those things into place so that I don't come up against or experience things that are not good for me.
I know you said that boundaries are important to set in the beginning of things, but
yes,
how do you feel like you will maneuver setting a boundary in the midst of something that's already established?
So I will say, just to establish like why I say that, for example, when I was a teacher, I would always tell new teachers that would come up under me that you can start off firm and then lighten up. Mm-hmm. But once you start coming in light and then try to firm up, them kids not going to listen to you because you've already started that way.
Right.
So it's easier to come in and define something rather than to define it one way and then try to change the definition. So I always say it's best to set stuff up in the beginning because it becomes so much harder to have to draw back or have to stop or now have to talk to people over and over because they're so used to you being a certain way. And so if at all possible, whether it is a friendship or a relationship or a new job or your family, try to do that from the jump. So you don't have to work twice as hard because not only do you have to set the boundary now you have to explain and reinforce it over and over.
Right.
So I would say if you've already kind of gone past that beginning moment, though, it's not too late.
Yeah.
You can set the boundary, but now you're going to have to clearly communicate with who or whatever to let them know what the boundary is and reinforce it when they cross it. Because they could be crossing it just unintentionally. I'm just not used to you being this way. Or they could also be crossing it maliciously. Like, now you're not finna do that. You was acting one way. You're not finna switch it up on me. So it's up to you now to constantly communicate and reinforce. And then if somebody continues to cross that boundary, to issue consequence.
Baby, that last line was good to me. You said to issue consequences. Because, baby, let me tell you something. Somebody, you got to show them fat meat greasy around here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can show them better than you can tell them.
Baby, and it is. And like what I told them the last time, I'm not mopping up what you spilling no more.
Right.
Huh? And that's you setting a boundary. No, baby, you might have got away with it then, but this a new day. Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
That's right. I'm a new creature.
Huh?
Old things have passed away.
Yeah, behold, all things have been made new. Okay, come on.
Yeah. And so it's okay if you do have to reinforce that because you have to be able to discern, is this unintentional and it's just going to take practice and repetition for them to realize I'm a new person and they can't do this no more? Or is it malicious and them trying to exert power over me? Because it could be one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And either way, I said what I said.
I said what I said.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
But you got to have some confidence for that thing. You got to have some self-esteem for that thing.
Yeah, you got to be willing to let go of whatever it is that opposes you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So when you set your boundary, you got to know setting a boundary is making a demarcation between one place and another.
Okay. And what you won't do is go back and forth with somebody about a boundary you set up. I said it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be.
What it's going to be.
Huh? Shoot.
Dare I say?
It's above me now. Oh, okay.
But even in order to set a boundary and to have people take you seriously, you got to be consistent about it. Right. It can't be I got a boundary today and I don't have one tomorrow. You could do this today, but you can't do it tomorrow. But the next day you might be able to. But if you want people to take you seriously and to really listen to what you say the first time, you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I say it with kids. You know, I give a lot of kid examples because I was a teacher for so long. Them kids know what they can do, who they can talk to like that. Or they know when you're not serious. You keep telling them every day, I'm going to call your mom. I'm going to call your mama. Eventually, she ain't calling my mama.
Yeah.
I'm finna do what I want to do.
Okay.
Babe, you got to say what you mean and mean what you say.
She going to talk all that hot jazz. And then when push come to shove.
You can't be all talk. You got to be about that action.
That's what they say.
Huh?
That's what the kids say.
Huh?
And one thing about it, let me tell you something. We grew up on Nuck If You Buck. I'm about it.
Okay.
Like the No Limit said.
Make them say.
Nah. We ought to quit.
No, for real. Yeah. You have to really get to a place because it was hard for me to set boundaries before because I struggle with the self-esteem area. Maybe you got to have you some self-esteem when you talk about setting boundaries because a boundary is also a decision.
A boundary is also a decision, and you got to be able to live with it. You got to stand
on it.
Come on.
Stand on it.
10 toes.
And if they decide, hey, I don't want to be in your life no more, you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with it.
Yeah.
When you set your boundary, you got to know this going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I got to be okay with both of them. But my boundary stands.
Yeah.
What you going to do?
Because the word tells us a double-minded man.
Unstable.
In all his, it didn't say
not
some.
One way.
It didn't say
not
some.
2 ways.
It said all.
All of them.
I forget which leader I was listening to, and they said you have to watch a double mind because that mind will have another mind that has another mind that has another mind. If you can't make no decision, be careful and be careful of people who can't make decisions.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. You have to be very mindful of people who can't make a decision because you got too many minds going on. You got to get your mind grounded. You got to get it grounded in God. You got to get it grounded and rooted in something that's going to be real.
That's good.
Because you're going to get swept away every chance you get.
Every which way.
Every chance you get, you ain't got no boundary.
Sway
in your
with
mind.
every doctrine the word says.
I find that when I can't make a decision, I just go ahead and make one.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't make it, I just make it.
That's right.
And some of y'all got to catch that in the Holy Ghost.
That's good.
Either way it go, it's taking me too long to figure this out. I'm going to just go with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And let the chips fall where they may.
Let them fall where they may.
Because guess what? All things are going to work together for me. Because I'm called according to his purpose. And I love him.
That's good.
Huh?
Come on.
Oh, okay. You got to...
You're preaching good.
You got to get in that word to know what I just said.
Not only that, you got to be careful with people that don't finish nothing. You finish something.
I be finishing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but there's people that they never... So that's the person that's going to set that boundary, but it's going to be different tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And it's called marginal manipulation.
Y'all write that down.
So here's where the boundary is today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, it might be right here.
Right. It might be back here. It might be further in.
I'm constantly manipulating the margin based on what is in my best interest.
Yeah.
You know? Because I've dealt with somebody like that in dating where it was never good enough. Mm. Here's the line. Here's the decision. Here's the marker. Mm-hmm. And then we get to that marker. Oh, no. Actually, this. Mm-hmm. Let's do this and let's make this decision. Then we get to that place. No. Actually, let's do... Constantly manipulating where the boundary is based on what is best for them in that moment. We got to finish this thing. Where's the finish line at? Mm-hmm. And let's leave it right there. Because when we finish it, now we can celebrate. Now we can set a whole nother goal, but we're not going to keep moving the finish line.
Right.
Because then we never going to finish.
That's good. Mm-hmm. And then when you realize that you are in a situation where somebody is meeting your boundary and they're towing the line.
Ooh, come on.
It's like, I'm not touching you.
Ooh, that's good.
Remember, because for those of us who had siblings, you would tell, don't touch me. I'm sick of you touching me. And it's like they would get all in your face and point all around you.
That's good.
It's like skirting around that boundary. They know that the boundary is there, but they blurring those lines. So how do you feel like you would combat that? What's your corporate clapback?
Corporate clapback?
Yeah.
Oh, girl. I don't know.
Let's revisit some of the boundaries that I set up because for some reason I feel like we're kind of going close to those borders of my boundary. And I want to just make sure that we're making this very clear. This is the standard in which I've set. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're meeting it, but there's some opposition there. Let's walk through that.
Oh, that's good. Let's circle back.
Yeah, let's circle back. I don't know what it is about being in my 30s. I love corporate.
Yeah.
I love good corporate talk, corporate lingo. Love it.
No, it's good to revisit anyways.
Yeah.
Because some people just need a reminder.
Refresh your course. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
It is okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Baby, they not trying to. They just, hey, let me just remind you. Mm-hmm. That this not gonna work for me.
It might have worked for me yesterday. It might have worked for me 2 hours ago. This new now.
I'm a new person.
Huh? And I feel like sometimes it's much easier for somebody to come in and meet you that you already have a boundary set than setting a boundary to somebody who's known you for years.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that some people can't see past how they met you.
Familiarity.
That thing. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. That's why I think it's hardest for most people to set boundaries with family. Because they've been knowing you forever. And then a lot of times you have grown up under however your family is, whether it's functional or dysfunctional or functionally dysfunctional. Mm-hmm. And so you breaking out of that and breaking that cycle becomes very difficult. Mm-hmm. But that's why I say it's important to not only set your boundary, but issue consequences. But not the consequence of like permanent separation if that's not necessary, if it's not like, oh, I'm being abused or something like that. But just sometimes in maybe the way that that person communicates with you or the energy when that person is around. I've had a family member where I've been like, I'll go over there, but because their energy is just not what I'm looking for, I set my boundary at a certain amount of time that I'll be around that person. So it's not permanent separation, but because of the way that you are and the way that you carry yourself and the aura that you have, you my family and I love you. But after a little bit,
I'm going to keep a distance.
All right, I'm going to head out, So issuing consequences helps too when it comes to those people who have known you for a long time and may have a hard time accepting this new boundary that you're putting into place.
Okay, but TT, it's hard for me to set a consequence. Okay, would be hurt.
Choose your heart. It's hard to be hurt. It's hard to set boundaries. Choose your heart.
Hello. One of them it's going to hurt now, but heal later.
Yeah.
One of them going to keep on hurting.
You want to hurt for a little while or hurt forever?
And that's what it boils down to. I know it was this interview that I watched with Erykah Badu, and somebody was telling her that they couldn't leave a situation. She was like, "Oh, baby, you just not hurt enough.
You're not hurt enough. Yeah.
You're not hurt enough.
You ain't reached your limit."
And baby, let me tell you something. When you get hurt enough,
that's it.
You will go on about your business.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know how long you can hurt.
That's true. And everybody's tolerance is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I can look at somebody's situation and be like, girl, why you still there? Why you do? They can handle it up until now. You can't. Mm-hmm. It might be another 6 months before she reach her cap. Mm-hmm. Everybody's tolerance is different.
Yeah, you got to know yours, baby.
As you get older, that tolerance, it gets smaller and smaller, though. I'll tell you that.
Sure. Baby,
after that last relationship I got out of, I said, well, let me tell you something that I will never do it.
Baby, getting out of a relationship, whether it be a friendship, a family, or a romantic relationship, getting out of those, baby, you'll come out with some boundaries. If you're smart,
I ain't gotta ask nobody.
If you smart, or if you still kept your mind in the midst of that release, huh? Because some of y'all, baby, them relationships took a piece of y'all.
It happens.
Yeah.
You got to heal. But no, that's good. But then sometimes you come out of a situation setting boundaries so that you don't go back into that situation again. And then you end up building a wall. Your boundary's supposed to be a fence, not a wall, baby. Somebody got to get in. Your
boundary should be a fence, not a wall. Because somebody has to get access.
Right? And I definitely struggled with that at first, being so hurt that I was like, this never happened again. This never. And then somebody just really trying to be good and nice. And my boundaries are so strong. They're like, man, you got a lot of walls up. I'm trying to get to know you.
Yeah.
Want to know something about you. And
I literally just asked you the time. The last time I told a man what time it was, he used all mine.
Your boundaries got to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times we can, I got a boundary, but it's built off of hurt.
My therapist told me, we were going through, when I first started talking to my therapist, we were going through my dating and like what I like, what I dislike, what I would want in my partner, what I don't want in my partner, what I'm going to stand, just all the things. And then she was like, you're disqualifying somebody so that they won't disqualify you. And I was like, first of all, I don't pay you to say stuff like that to me.
Smash some edges.
Like, don't ever come at me like that. But also continue. No, but she was right. Some of the boundaries that I had set up, before you can hurt me, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if I have these parameters, if I have these boundaries, there's no way I can get hurt again. But also, there's no way I can let somebody in.
That's right.
And the thing about love, love opens you up to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Love opens you up to be hurt. Mm-hmm. But you have to trust that whoever you're letting in won't
hurt you.
Or if they do it, that's not their intent.
So true. That's what love is. It's a risk.
Love is a risk.
It is. There's no way around it. You can do all the vetting you want to. Mm-hmm. Ask all the questions you want to. Introduce them to everybody. Ask them what to think and all of that. You can do all of that. It's still a risk. Mm-hmm. They could change tomorrow. They could change their mind tomorrow. You don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's with anything. It could, with our friendship, it's a risk. Mm-hmm. At any point, I would tell you sometimes I'll have this like random fear that you're just like not going to be my friend anymore, or that you're not going to want to do the podcast anymore. Yeah. It's a risk. Not that you're going to want to do that.
Right.
But there's risk involved in any relationship that you get into, whether it's platonic or romantic, work-related, whatever. All of it involves a risk. So you can settle that in your heart.
Yeah.
And move forward with wisdom. Yeah. I think that's the key. Yeah. More so than, let me block everybody. Let me put this up. Let me just move with wisdom. Mm-hmm. And so when I was working with my therapist on the vulnerability piece, because I had withdrawn so much from being hurt, it was hard for me to move forward with vulnerability. Right. And so she was like, you don't have to put it all out there at once. We can take this step by step. So at this step, what do you feel comfortable sharing? Okay, now next step. What do you feel comfortable sharing? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes it's just like that day by day, that piece by piece versus, I got to have it all out there. No, set your boundary. Here's my boundary. And then when we get to a different place, we have different feelings. We have a different level of trust. Okay, I can let you in a little bit more. That's guarding my heart more than nobody can get in ever, right? It's the wisdom behind it. Mm-hmm.
I think that's really good. And what I was thinking while you were talking, when it comes to guarding your heart, you have to be very mindful that somebody does need to come in and do this with you. Like, you can't just
You're not
guard your
built for
heart alone.
solitude.
Right. You can't just build your wall and have your boundaries and your guards and all that alone. Like, there is somebody who's going to come through and nurture those things. Somebody who's going to come through and actually is worthy, whether it be a family member or a friendship or something like that. And I do want to commend you, because when I met you, I know it took you a while to like ease up to me, but when you did, like, it was very beautiful. Our relationship,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But even now, where you are in your current relationships and your relationship romantically, I've seen you grow so much, and I know where you've come from, and to see you now be vulnerable and be in this place and be this dainty little flower that you are, this passenger princess that you are. It's really good to see that.
Yeah.
And I can see that you did set up healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, it may have been a point where it was like, nah, this is a trauma boundary. But now it's like you really have evolved so much in your relationships. And it's really good to see that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because it takes work.
It does, especially in the midst of all the other stuff that you've gone through, and in the midst of life and all that. Man, being vulnerable sometimes it's for the birds.
It really is. Even just like the boundary setting and stuff. When I was young, one of the reasons that I'm so like adamant about boundaries and guarding your heart and stuff is because when I was young, I was very soft-hearted. Just very sensitive, very naive, just, oh, everybody's, great and everybody has my best interest. I was just so soft-hearted.
Green.
Very.
Wet behind the ears.
Just never would have believed that anybody would hurt you or, do something wrong to you. I was just so innocent, and I ended up getting hurt a lot because of that, because I heard somebody say, I think it was like on TikTok where he was saying like women start from 100.
Yeah.
And then you start doing stuff that brings them down.
Yeah.
And that's how I always was. Everybody, I'm starting at 100. I'm starting at 100. They're the best. They're amazing. They're not going to do anything. They're honest. They're truthful. And then I'll be down at 0 before I knew it. And I would be so hurt behind it. So now I allow myself to build instead of starting at the top and getting hurt to come down. That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, that's what guarding my heart looks like in this season.
Yeah.
It's not even and not necessarily that everybody has to start from like zilch, 0, nothing, but I'm not starting all the way at 100 and then allowing disappointment to bring me down.
That's good. And even just getting to know that, I really want our listeners and viewers to know that boundaries are necessary.
Yeah.
And that they're beautiful to have.
If you want to keep your sanity.
Baby, hello. Because, baby, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Ooh, baby, and I thank God I got my mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of situations I could have lost it in.
Come on.
How that song go? I could have lost my mind.
Come on.
But God, wanted to give up
so many times.
Come on.
But God was my anchor.
God was my Wait, hold on, I don't got rhythm. I lost it already. Y'all don't clip that.
No, that's so true.
Yeah.
That is so good. I forgot about that song.
Yeah, no, but that was a song that you were saying for a while.
For a long time.
Baby,
I think it was like last year.
Yeah. Baby, because last year he was your anchor.
Lost my mind.
Wanted to give up so many times.
They don't.
But God. Okay. Okay. All right.
I could have.
You could have, but it wasn't so.
God said no.
All right.
Y'all ain't been.
Couple of y'all should have
took off right there.
Right there. Y'all don't know when to praise him. You don't know.
You don't know when to praise him. I could have lost my mind.
I should have had at least 12 runners right there. Huh?
Girl, cartwheel, backflip. No, because boundaries keeps that from happening.
Yeah.
But it's your responsibility. It really is. And I think we believe people want the best for us so much that we forget the necessity of boundaries, And it's great to have hope and to be optimistic. We're not saying that something bad has to be going on in your life in order to set a boundary. It's a good thing because it's protecting you, it's protecting your heart, it's protecting your mind, and also just keeping you. Boundaries also keep things in. They don't just keep things out. So I'm keeping my mind together.
Glory.
I'm keeping my heart together.
Glory.
I'm keeping my spirit together.
Yeah.
It's not just about what's coming in. What's going out if I don't have boundaries? Come on, time I could have lost my mind. If I lost it, I didn't have a boundary there to keep it in. So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
What am I trying to keep in and what am I trying to keep out? Because that's going to let me set a boundary that's not only an aid to other people, it's an aid to me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is me. I'm putting myself first. I got to put myself first, Lucius.
You got to.
I got to put me first.
I got to put me first. I got to.
I have to.
Because what they say when you on the plane, put your life vest on.
Not the
first.
Vest, the mask.
The mask. They got a vest.
Okay. But they talk about the mask.
Put the mask. Okay. Put the mask on first. Huh?
Yeah.
And then render aid.
Why? Why they gotta do that?
You got to make sure you good, baby. How you gonna help me? You trying to help yourself. How you gonna get me together? You still trying to get yourself together, huh? And you can't even get yourself together.
Right. If I don't put mine on and I put yours on, I'm gonna pass out in the midst of trying to help you. Now we both out.
Huh? Don't let the blind lead the blind. Put you some glasses on, baby. Huh?
Get you a little help, a little LASIK.
Look on, look at. You know what?
Friend.
Boundaries have been the reason why I have gone to therapy. And boundaries have helped me be successful in this healing journey.
That's good. Tell us more.
So when I am having conversations with my therapist, she brings up some of the best questions or gives me some of the best thoughts. And because of that, I'm able to think about what I want to take as a person, who I am as a person, what I believe about myself. Your boundaries can actually show you what you believe about yourself. If you don't set a boundary on the way people talk to you, what standards do you have for your own self? Do you talk to yourself crazy? If you allow others to do it, do you do it to yourself?
That's good.
What do you mean to you?
Right.
How do you feel about yourself?
I was just about to say, how do you feel about you?
Yeah.
That's good.
How do you love you? Do you love you? Do you know how to love you? Have you listened to yourself lately?
That's good.
What have you done for yourself lately?
Yeah.
I mean, just take inventory. How can I be good to myself? How can I be great to myself? Self, what do you need?
Before you expect somebody else to.
How can I be of service to you?
Because you know what? When you treat yourself well, other people will too.
Right. Well, I think we said in season 1, somebody come around you and they see that everything in your life is junky. Everything in your life is junky. It doesn't matter. They don't care what they put down. They don't care what they put down in your life. It's already junk here. What's one more piece of mess?
That's right.
But when they come into your life and they see that it's clean in here, I can see that you've done some work in here. They're more mindful. Oh, let me pick this cup up.
That's right.
Let me pick up how I talk to you. Let me pick up how I treat you.
It don't belong there.
No, it doesn't.
Don't let nobody drop their trash off in your life.
Come on, somebody. And if they do, baby, throw it back at them. You can say that. You can't say that.
No, for real. Because too many of us allow ourselves to be emotional dumpsters.
And it's time out for that.
It is.
It's
Close
time
the
out.
lid.
Close the lid.
I love when we have conversations and you'll be like, well, before I start talking about that, you got time? Or
Yeah.
Are you okay? You want to talk about this?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people emotionally dump on you. And it's like, well, what if I wasn't in the headspace for that?
Right.
What if I'm not in the emotional space for that?
No, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about that. For me, that's really big. And I did start doing that in my relationships with people because I know that life can be hard for me. Life is hard on its own just for me.
Yeah.
And I know how I would feel when somebody would call on me because I have that pastoral grace on my life, or I walk in that office.
Yeah.
And they just come and they just tell me all these things. And it's like, I literally just got done crying. I am depleted. Now is not the time for your first world problems.
First world problems.
Please.
Yeah.
I quite literally cannot. I'm sorry that they didn't have your nail polish color. It's just,
Yeah.
bigger fish are frying in my life right now.
Right.
So it became really important to me to when I'm talking to somebody, and if I need to vent, first of all, I'm going to go to a trained professional who gets paid for me to emotionally dump. Or also if I am with my friends, and because I know that they love me, I can talk to you all, or I can talk to you, but I want to make sure my friend is good, because how can I tell you how I'm feeling and you are like literally on life support yourself? Can what I'm talking to you about, can it wait? Is it going to affect you? Is it something that's like going to someone who's having trouble conceiving and telling them, like all the problems that you're having with your kids and stuff right now?
No.
Now is not the time.
Read the room.
Read it. Huh?
Yeah.
Like, you be mindful of what you're saying to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you need to vent, find you a professional,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who gets paid to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have one, go to your friend, but make sure they're good first.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not okay for you to just emotionally dump. But I've learned that as I've gotten more mature.
That's good.
It took maturity to tell me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I'm usually on the other end, because I'm not as verbally expressive. I'm a great listener.
Mm-hmm.
And so people take me being a great listener as I want to listen all the time.
Mm-mm.
Not really the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm a great listener, and I'm very intent on what you're saying, and I may even provide you with some great feedback, but that doesn't mean every moment is the time.
Right.
So even as the person who may be receiving the emotional dumping or receiving the venting, it's okay to be like, hey, friend, not right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a boundary that you can set up.
Yeah.
Not this moment.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I remember something happened at work, and I was supposed to have a meeting with somebody about what happened, and it had just happened that day. And I was like, not today.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to my manager, and she was like, I'm so proud of you for just being good to yourself in that moment and saying, I can't do this today.
Right.
And I was like, man, you're right.
That
Because
was
I haven't
good.
always been an advocate for myself. I'm just, all right, let's do it. Let's get it done. I'm a doer. Like, come on. But in that moment, I was like, nah, not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not accepting this meeting.
And that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. So in whatever circumstance, whatever environment, whatever, set your boundaries. Stand on them.
Yeah.
You're worth it.
You're worth it.
You're worth some protection.
Amen.
Not just from everybody else, from yourself.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good. Friend.
I know it.
Okay. We gotta go.
Okay.
Okay. This was really good.
It was a great episode. I enjoy talking to you, friend. Thank you for being such a good friend.
I'm gonna cry.
Don't.
Okay. My eyes are watering.
All right, y'all. Before she start the waterworks.
Yeah, no. Start. Before they benefit.
He gearing up. All right, you guys. Well, we will see you next time on another episode of
Your favorite Aunties podcast. Bye.